Hey guys, Londathal here. After last week's video talking about bad first sessions, mistakes to avoid, things like that, we're going to do something more interesting and talk about the campaign I'm currently running that started with that terrible first session, the players that are in it, more specifically their characters and motivations, and what happened actually in those first few sessions. This video is mostly going to be storytelling, talking about the goings-on of the characters, the events of the first few sessions, just to give you guys a sense of context and allow me to kind of show off my players and my setting. So, to start off, we have our list of characters, and we will start at the youngest and move forward in the age of characters, not necessarily players. First player character, Runner. He is a Kenku rogue. Kenku kind of look like this, in case you haven't seen them. He is the youngest character at just 20 years old, fairly young. He's level 5, like all the other characters, so he has some experience in the world around him, just not anything out of that large city he started in. Next we have Urjan, the Dragonborn fighter samurai from the Unearthed Arcana. He'd introduce himself as a blacksmith. He's about 30 years old, but still one of the younger characters in the party. He's an established blacksmith with a shop and everything and a house in one of the cities named Ningalen. Adventuring for him is kind of a side business. Third in the party, we have Lanagus. He's a 250-year-old summer elf paladin who's taken the Oath of the Ancients, so a very nature-themed paladin. He's been wandering the material plane for about 150 years ago, as all elves are from the Feywild and visit the material plane when they're younger. 100 years old is young for an elf. Most return back to the Feywild once they look around and realize humans and dwarves, you guys are all really short-lived and wacky and weird and live really fast lives, and that's not my style. And they go back to the Feywild. Every now and then some will decide to stay because they feel some kinship or whatever. Lanagus is one of those who has lived in the city of Alarius, which is the same city that Runner is from, but previously never crossed paths. Second to last is the winter elf wizard named Mephiance. As a winter elf, he's from the Winter Court, which kind of puts him on the opposite side from Lanagus, who's from the Summer Court. He is actually a knight, or rather a noble, with retainers that has kind of fled his court for reasons to be revealed. His retainers are Doomseeker, the Blink Dog, Eisen Rokal, a wannabe warlock who was kicked out of wizarding school for inappropriate necromancy, and a pixie druid named Cricket. Speaking of Cricket, the fifth member of the party is Cricket Scrollsong, a 700-plus year old pixie druid, you don't have to lady her age, right? Who is the retainer for Mephiance. She's been around for quite a long time, and as a pixie has a technically immortal life, as long as she doesn't, get stabbed. Pixies look like this, but Cricket is from the Winter Court, so she's not all sunshine and rainbows. She's a little bit more predatory and evil. Think more like the Hellboy tooth fairies that look kind of like this. So she's pleasant, but also likes to eat meat raw and possibly still alive. I don't know. She's kind of terrifying. And played by my wife. So if you haven't seen the first episode, I cover the events out of character that happened to these players and characters and how awkward it kind of was to get started. But from here on, we're going to talk about the actual events that happened to the characters and should be a little bit more entertaining. So the party starts at the wake of Dendor Bladeweaver, a beloved sorcerer who is a mage knight of the Emerald Saber. These mage knights are an order similar to the Green Lanterns, that they rove about a territory. They protect people, they get involved in disputes, and they help where they can, where they are needed. Dendor has passed away just recently, as in within the past 2 weeks, and everyone is there to celebrate his life, mourn his death, that kind of thing, depending on your particular beliefs. With him is Grifnir Zirakir, who was Dendor's apprentice and now has picked up the Emerald Saber and will take over his post. The party spends some time talking, exchanging some stories, talking about how they know Dendor, giving everybody a chance to get to know each other through their interactions with Dendor, which was kind of interesting to watch. Some gifts are given. There is a map given to Mephiance that shows all the ley lines in a particular area, which will be of great use for any kind of high-powered magical shenanigans that a wizard might want to get up to. There's a luck stone returned back to Runner, is all that remains of a luck blade that Runner stole from Dendor back when they first met, and Runner gets a chance to discover what exactly he had in his hands when he had stolen it from Dendor. Laenagus receives these awesome gauntlets that allow him to throw out radiant energy, as the poor paladin just really doesn't have any oomph out at a distance. Cricket Scrollsong is given a gem of brightness to help her see in those late nights of research, as well as blind those who might decide to, harm the itty-bitty little pixie. Who would want to do that? Urjan is given no particular gift. He is given a missive that was originally designated for Dendor about a missing shipment of precious metals that a blacksmith of means might use to forge some pretty powerful weapons and armor. Would be both a useful addition for any adventurer or a really, really good investment for a blacksmith. The party spends some time talking, reminiscing, and the night wears on. After a few hours, as they're basically the only people left to talk and hang out, the teleportation circle in Dendor's parlor flares to life, and out falls a black armored figure. The party rushes to investigate, heals the man, and asks about the situation. The man introduces himself as Hildar Bonesky, which is a pretty impressive name, they all remark. But humans have a penchant for really overly dramatic names. Hildar is beaten, battered, his breastplate is shattered to the point of the metal has come apart across his chest, and he tells this horrific story of being assaulted in the gears of Belend, which is the underbelly of a giant mechanical city. The assault is carried out by some shadowy black amorphous goo that changed shapes and quickly killed the two adventurers that he was traveling with. He was only able to make it out by a gift from Dendor that gave him a safe passage to this teleportation circle, now cracked and broken. With this information, the party does a little bit of research back in Mephiance's study, because Mephiance is a professor here in Ningolin. Therefore, he has a study and an office, and he has lectures. With some investigation by Mephiance and his top research assistant, Cricket, the pixie, the party quickly determines that this is the work of a Kleintar, which is a polymorphic aberration from beyond the stars. Kleintar kind of look like this. Yes, I totally stole it from Venom. They are known to be shapeshifters, capable of taking the form of anything they've eaten, as well as blend in fairly well until they have grown enough to split and multiply and begin to spread like a infection. After their investigation, the party realizes this is a bad thing and reports it very quickly to their friend Grifnir Zirakir, who takes them to the Archmage of Ningolin, who acts both as wise old Archmage and basically the king of Ningolin. It's an elected position by a number of the different schools of wizardry. The Archmage determines that this is a bad thing as well, and sends the party very, very quickly to Belend, paying for passage on an airship. A quick visit down into the city finds a ready and willing airship piloted by Captain Ziri, owned by Haley Treebreeze. This is the Sparrow-class airship, the Kestrel. With a small crew and empty cargo, it is a quick ship, which is exactly what they need. Leaving Ningolin to Belend via this path, the party basically has just a couple days in the air before they will arrive in their city. Of course, no trip like this can be uneventful, so they are attacked by peritons, which are nasty, nasty creatures that are deer, harpy. They like to eat hearts, like while they're still in a body. They're nasty things. They look kind of like this. The party, together with Captain Ziri and his thunder cannon, quickly make short work of the peritons, most of them being blown out of the air. When you have a fireball throwing wizard, that's kind of what tends to happen. And the party continues on safely with no casualties to crew or party. When the party arrive in Belend, Hildar Bonesky directs them to the Sleeping Minstrel, his preferred inn and the place where all his stuff was when he last left the city, hoping that it's still there. After paying for a few rooms for a few days, the party begins their investigation into the Kleintar infestation of Bellend. And that's where we're going to leave it for now. I want to keep these fairly short, and I mean, it's a little bit of a cliffhanger, right? So if you've made it this far through the video, thanks, I appreciate it. I hope it's entertaining. This is mostly for me to get these stories out because I think that all D&D games should have their story told, but I also want to put it out to you guys. Do you guys have questions? Do you want to know more about the cities, the places? Obviously, we're going to delve into more of this, but I'm thinking if there's enough questions about my campaign setting and the particular campaign the party is on, I will do a little Q&A video. If you have questions like that, leave them down in the comments, and I will totally record them and do a quick little video, or I'll just answer in the comments. We'll see how many we get. Please share this around if you think it's interesting, and I will do more of them. Actually, that's a lie. I'm going to do more of them whether people like it or not, but I would greatly appreciate your support. The next video will probably be me talking about more DM mistakes that I've found critiquing my different episodes and sessions with players, and we'll probably alternate videos like this. Till next time, keep rolling them dice.